Hello, gorgeous soul. Welcome to your July horoscope. Oh my goodness, it is a pivotal, extremely important month for our future. And that is because the North and South nodes are changing sign. Now, the North node has been in stable Taurus. We've been looking for security. We've wanted to lay foundations. We've been examining the abundance in our life and heading towards that. And now the North node is going into fiery and independent Aries. So we're like, rah, I want to express my individuality. I want to forge ahead with my passion. Now the South node, which is where we're coming from, is going into Libra. It was in Scorpio, which is all about letting go of our obsessions. And it's now in Libra. And that's about balance and injustices. We may be looking back to some injustices in our lives. We may want to find our balance, but in a new way, which fundamentally supports us as individuals. So it's about us and me and finding the balance between those two, but fundamentally going towards our unique soul. Also this month we have Venus, the planet of love, in Leo, which has been in for some time, going retrograde, going backwards. We're finding ourselves, we're finding our passion, we're finding our pride and our generosity of spirit. It is a big old month. Here's your monthly astrology. Aries, what an intense month for you, my darlings. Something extraordinary is happening that hasn't happened for 17 years, and that is the North Node goes into your sign. What is the North Node? It's our destiny. We are being guided to where we're meant to be, and all sorts of interesting and fascinating events are likely to occur from now that'll lead you to your destiny. So it's a good time to start to think, what is it do I want? Where am I going? Where could I end up? And also, open your mind up to possibilities. Very important that you respect yourself as an individual, but also you balance up where your relationships have been, because the South Node, which is where you're coming from, is in Libra. So how do your relationships affect your ability to be independent? Fascinating times, and essential that you look to the future and where you see yourself. Let's start at the beginning. The beginning of the month is quite good. We have the Sun conjunct Mercury in a very powerful position. So you're talking about your home. You're thinking about making some changes. You're thinking about your security with Mercury sextile Jupiter. And hopefully there'll be some good news and unexpected good fortune around that area. We then, on the 3rd, have the full moon in Capricorn. Look out for signs and conversations and communication that's around your career and where you're going. There could be a peak moment on the 3rd of July when you're like, yes, everything is becoming clear, and you're kind of have an intuition about what you're meant to do about your career. Mars leaves Leo and enters Virgo from the 10th of July, and it's a shift in energy. You're moving from being sort of creative and outgoing to organizing and getting stuff done. You're like, okay, what habits do I need to change? What do I need to declutter, sort out and clear out? Time to get very, very focused on the details to move forward. Having said that, on the 11th, Mercury enters Leo, fellow fire sign, giving us all a creative shift forward. There'll be lots of laughter and jolliness, lots of good times around the 11th of July onwards, where you're feeling quite optimistic and positive about your future. The new moon in Cancer on the 4th, again, this whole 2 weeks of this month and onwards is about looking at your home environment, looking at your family, having a new start, releasing the past when it comes to those areas, dealing with stuff so that you can move on feeling secure, nourished and nurtured within yourself. So pay particular attention to that. Do you feel nurtured? Do you feel safe? What can you do to transform your life so that you have that safety for yourself and you're not always giving out all the time? Now, as I said about the North Node, massive news on the 18th of July when the North Node enters Aries. And it is a game changer. We are heading to a point where we are seeing our destiny and how to get there. Do look at your chart. You can, I do free charts on my website, michelleknight.com or horoscope.co.uk. Have a look where your North Node is, because that will give you added information about what to expect. Now, Venus is going retrograde on the 23rd of July. There's lots of talk about that in the astrology circles because Venus is in Leo for an exceptionally long time. Now it's time to reevaluate the past. It's also a time where you may bump into ex-lovers or exes may be in touch. But equally, there may be a creative project you revisit and you go, right, I'm going to go and look at that. Also, just for a little bit more intensity, we've got Chiron, the wounded healer in Aries, going retrograde too. So there may be some wounds that you felt you'd healed and worked with and overcome, but there's that final digging up the roots to get that healing clarity. So there could be some situations from the past that come back that are kind of, remind you of where you were in the past. But you've got this, because Chiron is the wounded healer. Let's focus on the healing with that. Finally, Mercury, the planet of communication, enters Virgo. And again, for the whole of this month, really, you're focusing on organising, preparing, and doing what you got to do with the small details for the bigger picture. And when we do change even the tiniest things, it can have an incredible impact. A really good book to read at this time for you is Atomic Habits. Google it. It's quite an extraordinary book that shows the power of minute change for our futures. So a very, very significant month for you. Think about your destiny, darling, and think about achieving even more than you thought possible, because it could become possible this month. Take care, gorgeous, and I'll speak to you soon. So why do we at Michele Knight give you a 5-minute, no questions asked guarantee? Well, our psychics are some of the very best in the world. They are handpicked. They have 5 rigorous test readings, the final one with me, and I require very detailed information, things they couldn't possibly know just by looking at Google or social media. We want you to be totally blown away by your reading, to feel that you've chosen a psychic who you can bond with, who gets you and gives you such specific information you feel completely reassured. If this doesn't happen within the first 5 minutes, don't be shy, just put down the phone and your minutes will be topped up or refunded. Your reading should be uplifting, full of clarity and advice, and leave you empowered to make the right decisions for you. We want Michele Knight to be your spiritual home.